Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to episode 55 in the book of Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy is going to answer a question for us today, which is, why should I go to church this Sunday? And then underneath that is, why should I want to go to church this Sunday? So I'm going to start by describing a little scenario I went through. So a couple of years ago, I crashed my bicycle. I'm a pretty avid bike rider, and I crashed my bike to the point that I couldn't ride. I was prevented from riding by the injuries that I had. Now, the day before my accident, I was not prevented from riding, and I was kind of like, maybe I'll go for a ride, whatever, kind of plus minus on it. But the day after my crash, the day after I was prevented from riding, something unexpected happened to me. And you know what, the thing I wanted to do kind of more than anything was go for a bike ride. I never wanted to go for a bike ride more than when I was prevented from going for a bike ride. So it's going to be a similar thing here today as we are looking in Deuteronomy chapter 23, that it's supposed to be this amazing process to go to church on Sunday. It's an awesome privilege to go to church on Sunday. And it's emphasized, and it's kind of an exclamation point at the end of the sentence, when you're prevented from going to church on Sunday. So church is supposed to be so good, the body of Christ is supposed to be so good, the assembly of God is supposed to be so good that if you are prevented from going, it's supposed to be painful, and particularly painful. Now, we talked yesterday just a little bit about the shut-ins at my church, and those are people that it's a grief not to be able to go to church. They're either too old or too sick, or in my case, for example, too injured to go on a Sunday. That's kind of how you define it. People that can't come to church but desperately want to. They want nothing more than to have their cancer go away or their infirmity of age or sickness to not prevent them from coming. So they would like nothing other than to be free from what afflicts them, and they would fly to the body of Christ. That's kind of the definition of a shut-in. But in Deuteronomy chapter 23, something different happens, and that is people are prevented from coming to church. They're told you can't come to church, and sometimes even for entire generations and multiple generations, you can't come to church. It's the New Testament version of this is being under church discipline. That is, it's a punishment to say, look, it's a privilege to go to church, and you have lost that privilege, and you can't come to church. So why is that supposed to be painful? Well, it's supposed to be valuable. To assemble is a privilege. It's supposed to be a treasure to come together and to be the body of Christ. Therefore, to be excluded from the privilege to assemble as the people of God, that is the ultimate censure. So it's kind of like pulling out the big hammer of church discipline. It's so bad, it's so big and painful, it's supposed to be rarely done. Why is that? Because it's so brutal. All right, so why is all of this? What's so special about the people of God? What's so special about gathering together as the church on a Sunday? So we're in Deuteronomy chapter 23, and I want to highlight for you verse 14. And that is, because the Lord your God walks in the midst of your camp to deliver you, to give up your enemies before you. Therefore your camp must be holy, so that he may not see anything indecent among you and turn away from you. So Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 14 tells us, because the Lord your God walks in the midst of your camp to deliver you and give up your enemies before you. So being in the assembly of God is supposed to be a very special place. It's the place where the Lord your God walks in the midst of your camp. And there he delivers up your enemies before you. Your camp is holy, and it's a place where he doesn't turn away from you. So it's this special place where you have the Lord's presence, his undeserved favor. He sets his face upon you. He sets his favor upon you. He's turned towards you. He walks in the midst of your camp. And so because it's such a privilege, we're charged with don't mess this up. So why should I strongly desire to go to church this Sunday? Well, it's because God is there in a uniquely observable way. And you can meet God there in a way that you cannot meet him anywhere else. And how is that? Well, his Spirit is manifested. His Spirit is manifested in the indwelling of the individual people. Then they gather together. And it's supposed to be an eye-opening process. It's supposed to be a soul enhancing process in the preaching of the word, as well as the gathering of the people. So like it is in Deuteronomy chapter 23, God is still uniquely present in the assembly of his people. Yep, now his people are ragtag, still struggling with sin, but they're redeemed, they're chosen, they're favored. Nothing that they've done, we all stand unworthy before him. So it's partially about the people that they may demonstrate particular aspects of God himself, like facets of a diamond. It's the manifold gifting of his people with his Spirit. So it's about God, that God uniquely inhabits the place where his people are, and God uniquely inhabits the people that are in the place. So he there walks in the midst of the camp, and that's what I really want to leave you with. It's there that he walks in the midst of their camp. It's there that the place is where he has turned his face toward it, and that's why you should want to go to church this Sunday. So if I told you that he walks in the midst of your camp, then that's the place you should want to fly to on Sunday morning. My charge is fly there this Sunday. Thanks for listening.